live. And you are looking live at the sold out Shea Stadium, where the Giants played their home games in 1975. You're looking live at sold out Shea Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. And why are the Washington Commanders 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Or if anybody's going to spend any time at all watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. It means so much to me. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say? Please feel free, fire away, throw away in the chat box. I usually check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if anything gets put in there, as soon as I see it, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free and fire away. Before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, there's a top link. It takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. First one's called the Saquon. The second one is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel, it would mean so much to me. So thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you're not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. That way, next time I put out a video or go live, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. And then finally, in the description box below, there's 2 additional links. They take you to the Facebook links, okay? The top one, okay, takes you to, it's a Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants Gridiron. My YouTube channel, Facebook group, and the Facebook page, which I'm going to go over in a minute, all it's called the New York Giants Gridiron. That way, a moron like me, I can remember it. I don't have to worry about what's the channel called, what's the group called, what's the page. It's all called the same thing. Right now, we have over 2,600 members in the group. Okay. I put stuff in there every day, 7 days a week, at least 10 things I try to put in there, whether it's a video, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, or a post, a picture, anything. I try to put at least 10 different things in there. But if you're a member, okay, members post stuff in here as well, too. So there's a ton of New York Giants stuff going into the group every day. Then the second, okay, Facebook link. If you go down below, it takes you to my Facebook page, okay? It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron, all right? So all the same thing. Right now, we have 773 people who like the page, and there's over 3,500 people following the page. Same thing. Every day, I'm putting at least 10 different things in here every day. I'm the administrator, so I'm the only one who posts anything, okay, in a while. Okay. So, but I every day, 7 days a week, I try to put stuff in here. Okay. And I don't commingle. So basically, whatever I put on the page, I don't put in the group, and vice versa. Okay. So if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, between the 2, you get a ton of New York Giants information every day. All right. As I always say, if you're not satisfied, you're not totally satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed. All that stuff said and done. But I tell you what, the free agency frenzy, it's still going on, baby. Yesterday the New Year League started at 4:00 in the afternoon, meaning Wednesday the 15th. Okay, but I mean, obviously, where you can pick the phone up and start legally tampering with the free agents was on Monday. Okay. But I mean, so the Giants have been doing pretty well. So far they've addressed a bunch of problems. Let's see, I got so many. Oh, where the heck are they at? Nope. There we go. Nope. Oh, there we go. All right. All right, the free. I mean, they're doing a nice job as far as bringing back their free agents. Nick Gates is gone. No, I mean, as far as I know, I mean, Kenny Golladay, he's gone, so I'm not even worried about him. All right. They got Feliciano, Ellis, Williams, Jefferson, James, Moreau, Johnson, Marcus Johnson, the X-Man, Oshane Ximines, and Julian Love. None of those guys are signed. The only one who signed with somebody else was Nick Gates. I mean, as I know of as of right now. Okay, and also according to Spot Track here. Okay, so you can't. I mean, I don't know if it's ever been done. I mean, where basically a team has had like 15 free agents and they brought them all back. I don't know if that even happens. I mean, the teams are just it doesn't matter if you win the Super Bowl. You haven't won the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter if you won every game, if you didn't win any game. I mean, no team is going to bring back all their free agents. I mean, they're either trying to move on from some of them, upgrade the position, but nobody's going to bring them all back. But I mean, the Giants, I mean, they let's see, brought back Slayton, right? Breida. They brought back Jihad Ward, Sterling Shepard. Right. I mean, so, they've done so far. They've done pretty good. Right. They said they lost Nick Gates. He went to Washington. Kenny Golladay, I'm not worried about. You won't ever see him with the Giant jersey on again. I mean, as I said, again, Justin Ellis, I don't think, or Nick Williams, I'd be hard pressed to see it. Because Justin Ellis is 32. Nick Williams is 33. The two defensive tackles. I don't see them bringing those guys back. It's kind of a little surprise, maybe, especially Julian Love. Okay, has been. I've seen that he was maybe taking a trip to see the Seahawks. Now the Giants and him, they've been talking for a while, but I guess they haven't come to any type of common ground. I mean, they're trying to undercut him. I don't know, but I mean, all it's going to take is somebody to throw a little bit extra money to Julian. The Giants are trying to offer him 6 or 7, and the Seahawks throw like 8 or 9 at him. He's probably gone. But I mean, you got Tony Jefferson. Well, he's 31. So, but then they've signed quite a few wide receivers. So I mean, Richie James. Fabian Moreau, I'm a little surprised maybe they didn't try to, I don't know, maybe brought him back. Marcus Johnson and Oshane Ximines, right? So, I mean, they got some of their free agents out there. I mean, as of right now, they really don't have, I mean, a stone cold, drop dead, locked on, day one starting center. I mean, so I'm kind of a little surprised they haven't brought Feliciano back yet, okay? He's not signed with anybody yet. Okay. I'd like to see him draft a center. Okay. There's John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. It could be a first rounder. The Giants might have wind up looking at as far as a center. That's not his real name, but that's a song I grew up singing when I was a kid. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. But I'd like to see him maybe draft the center. That would be phenomenal because, I mean, Gates is gone. Feliciano is not going to be here forever. Okay. I mean, really, 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 really would be nice if they either maybe drafted a center or got a center in free agency. Okay. But, I mean, they've done a decent job so far as bringing back, a decent amount of their free agents. Now, of course, free agency is still not over with. A lot of these other guys, I said, like Marcus Johnson, Oshane Ximines, Fabian Moreau, Richie James, Tony Jefferson, Feliciano. A lot of these guys, I mean, they would be on the cheap. I mean, a lot of the guys, if they were to come back, they would not be, really, really expensive. Okay, so there's still always a chance, especially if they haven't signed with another team, right? So, well, interesting to see. But I mean, because like Jefferson, he changed his designation. I believe he's trying to be a linebacker now. So I'm not sure if the Giants are going to want to, bring him back if he's not trying to be a safety. So we'll have to wait and see. But I have to keep an eye on Julian Love. The Giants were having some kind of contract talks with him, but I guess nothing's come to fruition yet, so we'll have to wait and see. But, I mean, the Giants have done a decent job at bringing back a bunch of their free agents, okay? But they did bring back, I mean, obviously they brought back Jihad Ward, good old Hottie, okay, which is fantastic because, you know, it makes Wink happy. Wink said, I believe Wink said, like, you know, anywhere. As soon as defensive coordinator Wink Martindale returned to the Giants, it seemed likely that outside linebacker Jihad Ward would too. So it became official on Thursday. Ward resigned as first reported by ESPN. So that's good. We had a career high 43 tackles and matched his career high with 3 sacks in 17 games and 11. He had 11 starts. Okay, but I mean a lot of that was because of injuries. Okay, but yeah, I said after previously playing under Martindale in 2019 and 2020 with the Ravens. Okay, so there's a lot of, you know, that's why, you know, that's what Martindale says. Wherever I'm at, Martindale said during last season, I hope I have Jihad Ward with me. You know, Hottie's he's a special guy, maybe not the most specially talented or whatever, but he's great to have on the team, great in the locker room. Okay. Played 657 snaps, 5th most on the defense. Okay, Ward played a big part in helping develop some of the Giants' young pass rushers, Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari. Okay, so, but it's good to have him back, right? I mean, you know, he's somebody you got to have these guys, okay, because you can't have everybody on the team making 10 to 15, 20 million. That's just not the way it is. I mean, you're going to have your guys making whatever, 15, 20 plus, right? Or 10 million plus. And then you got to have a bunch of guys at the bottom of the barrel making $1 million. Now, Hottie's not going to be making, you know, much money. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think I saw how much he was going to be making, but if it was what it was last year, he's not making a whole heck of a lot. But, you know, so, but you got to have guys like him on the team, especially for some depth. Because when the guys get injured, like Azeez was quite a bit last year, all right, he couldn't stay healthy, right? Yeah, you got to have you guys like a Jihad Ward, right, without doubt. And then also, of course, they want to bring him back Slayton, which is cool. Now he wound up getting himself a nice raise. Now, according to Spot Track, okay, Spot Track had his value at like $3.5 million. Darius Slayton, I'm talking about. The Giants the 2-year deal carries a base value of $12 million plus another $4.5 million in incentives. So, I mean, probably you're not going to reach all the incentives, but it could be worth, I mean, possibly. 2 years up to 16.5, it's probably not going to happen. But, you know, he could reach $16.5 million in 2 years. So, I mean, even if he doesn't reach any incentives, it's, you know, 2 years, $12 million. Okay. So very, 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 very happy. I mean, I'm happy. I mean, you know, just some of those drops he has. I mean, it just, you know, I mean, the one against Washington, right? I mean, last year, the one against Washington, Daniel Jones like threw the ball maybe like an inch. You know, maybe he had a reach and it bounced off the tips of his fingers. He was wide open. There was nobody within like 300 yards of him. If he catches that ball, the Giants probably wind up winning that football game because they wound up kicking a field goal on that drive, I believe, instead of they could have had 7 points. So they would have had 4 extra points and the field goal that the Redskins, the Commanders, or whatever the hell the name was last year. Well, you know, wouldn't have mattered. So, I mean, if he caught that ball, the Giants would have won that game. But it is what it is. But, I mean, then he had to drop this year, the one against the Vikings that could have quite possibly sealed the deal, quite possibly, because he could have caught the ball. He was streaking across the middle. Ball hits him right in the freaking hands. He drops the ball. He could have caught it, maybe got a first down, which might have ended the game. So, I mean, he just has some drops. So, but it's good. It's nice to have him back. Nice to have him back, a 5th-round pick. All right, and, somebody can extend the field a little bit, open the field up a little bit with his speed. So it's just nice. It's just nice to have guys returning. You know what I mean? Guys you drafted, although you got drafted 2 regimes ago. Shermer drafted them in 2019. The following year, 2020, 2021, obviously was judged. So 2022 and 2023 now is, Dable, right, and Shane. So, but it's nice to have guys who you drafted, you want to keeping. Okay, I mean, which another one would be nice, really nice would be Julian Love. Okay, but we'll have to just wind up waiting and see. I mean, sometimes you can only keep so many guys, unfortunately. Although it's a little surprising that they brought back Darius Slayton. He gave him $6 million, could possibly make even more than that. And they haven't worked out anything with Julian Love. I mean, I thought, but it is what it is. But I mean, the Giants can always draft somebody, if they need a little depth as far as safety, they can always draft somebody. Right now that they traded away their 1 pick for Waller, but they still have 10 picks. Okay, so now at least then we know that they're not going to be drafting a tight end. Okay, or if they do draft a tight end, it won't be in the first few rounds anyway. Okay, they have too many they need a cornerback. They could still probably use a nice wide receiver. They could use a center or, an interior offensive lineman, whether it be a guard or a center, but they could use somebody, okay, without question. A bunch of guys, they could use more cornerback depth. They can use, maybe another safety, wide receivers, but wouldn't be a bad idea. Maybe if they got themselves a running back, if there was somebody out there, maybe in the later rounds who they thought that might help the team out, they could draft a running back. But it's really, really nice to see that they brought back Jihad Ward, very, very good, very, very good. And then as I said, bringing back Slayton, very, very good. Now, also, of course, they wind up signing, all right, Paris Campbell. Okay, now that he's had a lot of good things, right? But he's a couple of his bad things, right? So this one thing on Giants Wire, 5 things to know about Paris Campbell. He was a celebrated college player at Ohio State. Okay, in 2018, with Dwayne Haskins, all right, he was his top target. He caught 90 passes for 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns. Paris Campbell was named the first team All Big Ten selection. He was selected in the 2nd round by the Colts, pick number 59. Unfortunately, this is a theme of the New York Giants wide receiver group. Okay. He had several injuries, right? His rookie season, he had a broken foot, a broken hand, and a sports hernia. Then his next season, he suffered a PCL and an MCL injury in week 2 and was lost for the season. 2021, he missed 11 games with a foot injury. He headed in training camp last year, basically having to prove he can stay healthy, and at least he did. Okay, but that was his only year. Okay, he had a very good. He caught 63 out of 91 targets, 623 yards, 3 scores. Okay. In an offense that had many quarterback woes and a head coaching change. He also gained 58 yards on 5 rushes too. So not bad, right? So they had more of a, more consistency or a better offense, right? I mean, he probably could have gotten even more. But he averaged like 10 yards of reception last year. Nothing super duper phenomenal. But I mean, as you see, as I got here, his stats, I mean, tell what he have. His first 3 years, 44. He at 50. No. My bad. 28. He had 34 catches. 34 catches his first 3 seasons. Okay, he played in a grand total of 15 games. His first three years, 15 games, 34 catches. Okay, that's all those injuries. So. Last year, I said he played in every game last year. He had 63 catches, 623 yards, basically 10 yards of reception. Okay. 3 touchdowns. And he also had the 5 rushes. I'm not sure if they were jet sweeps or exactly what they were, but five rushes for 58 yards, almost 12 yards a rush, right? So, when healthy, right? I mean, if there's a better offensive system, right? If he's part of a group of guys, maybe he might get more wide open. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But the wide receiver group's getting a little crowded now. Especially not so much all the wide receivers, but I mean, if you throw in Bellinger, okay, and Waller in there, right, the receivers, right, we're starting to get a nice little group there. Now we had Slayton in there as well too, okay, and obviously don't forget, without question, I'm sure we're going to be looking for a wide receiver early in the draft, okay. He keep hearing. Of course, these are just reports out there that you wind up hearing that we're still in the OBJ lottery, I guess, as you like to call it. But let's see. And then it says, well, he's got some speed. It says here, Campbell ran a 4.31 40-yard dash at the combine in 2019, right? Usually at the combine, that's where you run slow. Usually at your pro day, for whatever the reason is, I'm not exactly sure, but at the pro day, usually you wind up running. That's if he had a pro day. Doesn't mean everybody has a pro day. But I mean, usually if you can run a 4.31 at the combine, that's fast. That's really fast. All right. Campbell is not as small as many have made him out to be. He measures actually 6 foot tall, 208 pounds. So he's got a nice size to him. He's not 6'3", 6'4", or anything like that, but he's 208. He's over 200 pounds. So he's 6 foot tall, 208 pounds, and he ran a 4.31 at the combine. That's pretty good. So, so you got him with him and his speed, and you got Darius Slayton too. So we got a couple guys that can, maybe take the top off the defense. But I said, but we're certainly not by any stretch of the imagination finished, because he signed a 1-year deal, right? We got the step. We brought Sterling Shepard back. I mean, he's like on a 1-year deal. You know what I mean? So, but we're at least we're adding some talent there. Don't forget, we're getting Colin Johnson back. Okay. He got injured in training camp last year. All right. He didn't even make it to the regular season. All right. So we're going to be getting him back too. He's a taller target. Okay. So we're getting some guys back there. All right. So then, of course, we also wound up signing. Now we signed Jeff Smith, okay, from the Jets. All right. Now, but he's probably going to be more possibly now it's the same thing with him. I mean, once again, I got this from Giants Wire. 25-year-old Jeff Smith originally signed with the Jets as an undrafted free agent at Boston College in 2019. So basically, he came in like the same time as Campbell did. Right? He was a restricted free agent this offseason, but he wasn't tendered. Okay, he's at 6'1", 195 pounds. So he's about the same size as Smith and Campbell. Okay, he ran a 4.36 40-yard. All right, so between Slayton, this guy Jeff Smith, and Campbell, guys fast. We got 3 fast guys. Okay, but let's also not forget. All right, that's one of the things that is huge in the Shane / Dable. Speed. They want separation. Right, that's huge. Smith has a good combination of size and athleticism. In addition to his receiving ability, he also plays it. Now, this is probably where he's going to, I don't want to say shine, but probably get a lot of, got a lot of use. He also plays gunner on special teams. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see. Now, let's see. It says here, Smith has struggled with drops throughout his career and dating back to college. Okay, but he brings other diversity to an offense. He played 3 games at quarterback while attending Boston College and is capable of being involved in trick plays. Assuming he makes the roster. All right. Smith is in a splash move by general manager Joe Shane, but he will provide competition this spring at the back of end of the wide receiving group. But also, he has, let's see, he played on, no, that's right. Okay, that's offense. Okay, special teams here. This is Pro Football Focus, special teams. He played on 85 snaps, okay, this past season. I'm not sure if he was injured or not, but he missed a bunch of games. He missed basically from week 12 to the end of the season. He only played in one game, okay? But he still played in 85 snaps. He played kick return. He didn't play in any. Kick coverage. He played in 47 snaps for the Jets this past season. Punt return, 29 snaps. Punt coverage, 9 snaps, okay? So he hasn't graded out anything really phenomenal. And in 2021, he played on 60 special team snaps. 2021, he was 60 snaps. 2020 for the Jets, he played in 36 snaps, special team snaps. So let's see, what did he do on offense here for the Jets? He played 142 snaps this past season for the Jets. Week 7 again at the Broncos, he played on 35 snaps. That was his high for the year. Okay. He played 142 total snaps on offense for the Jets this past season. Now, 2021, he played in 218 offensive snaps for the Jets. His career high was in 2020. Okay. He had 318 career snaps, 318 snaps in 2020 for the Jets. Okay. That was his high. Okay. Now, if we look at his stats here, let's see. He had 17 receptions in 2020. Okay, that was his high. 37 balls were thrown his way, had 17 receptions. Okay. This past season, he had 8 receptions for 134 yards, 16.8 yards a reception. Okay. 2021, he had 8 receptions, 14.1 yards a reception. So, past couple, yeah, when he caught the ball, he certainly got some yards, okay? He has not had an offensive touchdown or receiving touchdown or a touchdown period for the Jets, right? But he's young. He'll be 26 this year. He's been with the Jets ever since 2019, all right? So after you don't even know if they'll make the team, all right? Especially if the Giants wind up drafting maybe a couple of wide receivers. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, but if he does make the team, he'll be just some depth, but he'll also wind up playing on special teams as well, too. So, I mean, so far, I mean, with Shane, what Shane's been doing so far is, he's done very, very well. I mean, we had so far, okay. In the limited time of free agency that's been open, he's helped shore up a little bit with the run game, okay. Because we got Okarike, right, middle linebacker, inside linebacker, right, if he doesn't get tied up, okay, if you can keep him free, he's very good at tracking down the ball carrier, making tackles. One of his things is that if somebody gets to the second level, locks onto him, okay. Sometimes he has a hard time breaking free, which is one of the problems some of the giant linebackers had like last year. They would just, they would just get engulfed and they just couldn't break free of blocks and just had these gargantuan holes. And so we'll have to wait and see. But if we can keep a character, if we can keep him free, all right, he does a very good job. He's a tackling machine. He had over 150 tackles last year. So, right. Then I said that we got Nunez Roches, the defensive tackle from the Bucks. Will be you're not going to get much from the passing game from the guy, but okay, it'd be decent. We're going to get DJ Davidson back. Okay, I said we got the guy Roches. Don't forget, the defensive line class is not super spectacular. All right, so. I would be surprised if the Giants didn't at least draft somebody. Okay, well, you got 10 picks and you got holes, a lot of holes, defensive line, just some depth. All right, you're not going to replace Dexter Lawrence or Leonard Williams. You're not replacing them with anybody in the draft there, especially at number 25. Right. it depends upon who might fall to the Giants at 25, but I mean, at least look for them to grab somebody with some depth at one of the later on picks, just to add some, some depth. This when Dexter Lawrence or Leonard Williams needs a little bit of a breather, you got to have somebody to put in there. So I mean, so far he's addressed the run defense. Okay, doesn't mean we're a top 10 run defense, right? Hopefully, we're not a bottom 10 run defense. Okay, and he certainly, without question, has addressed the the passing game with bringing in Campbell, bringing back Slayton. Okay, bringing back Shepard. We signed Jeff Smith, right? But getting Waller for a third-round pick, right? Not only the third-round pick was the compensatory pick we got from the Chiefs, so it's pick number 100. We have our own, which is slightly earlier in the third round, right? So we have our first, a second, and a third, right? Now we don't have to worry about maybe drafting a tight end early on. You forget about that. So if they're going to add another weapon, okay, it's going to be a wide receiver in one of those first three picks. They could certainly double dip without question, get another wide receiver with one of their later on picks without question. And we have a bunch of tight ends. I'd be kind of surprised if they drafted a tight end. But look for them, maybe they could also grab a running back too. I mean, I don't know what they think of Brightwell. They're going to keep him around, but we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, look for the Giants to possibly grab a running back. But I mean, without question, at least one, if not two, wide receivers in this draft. Now, I mean, you can get somebody in the first or second or possibly even third round who can come in there and help out. They're only going to be they're not like a super. They're not like a Jamar Chase or anything like that. Each one will have their own special kind of talents to them. All right. So if you grab somebody in the third round, it means he's going to be somebody tall, maybe or you can grab somebody short that maybe he's can work in the slot or whatever. But they're going to have their own. They're going to have limitations to them. So if you grab somebody, they're going to be nice wide receivers, but it's not somebody that can be all do all. Okay. So, but I mean, so far in the first 4 days of free agency, Joe Shane has done very, very well. Now, according to Spot Track, we're like $7 million over the cap, but I don't think that includes like Kenny Golladay, his contract, saving money on him. I don't think that includes that. But the Giants, you're gonna have to do something. I'll maybe extend Leonard Williams' contract because his $32 million cap hit this year. We need to bring that down. But if we can extend him, bring him out a couple years, break that $32 million cap hit down, we can save some more money for the Giants as well too. So Giants can maybe go out and maybe bring in somebody else as well too. But Joe Shane, I'm sure he's not done. Right? I mean, I don't know if we can have any more big splashes, but so far, so good. I mean, the Giants, I hate being Nancy negativity here, but we're not Super Bowl contenders, but we're adding pieces to the puzzle. We're doing good, and I'll tell you what, once we get some of our guys back from last year, especially the guys like Wan'Dale Robinson, right, McKeithen, DJ Davidson, Beavers, something, Zudu, the guys that went up on that we drafted that or end up on injury reserve, right? We'll be getting those guys back. We're gonna have 10 more draft picks, bring them in, okay? All the guys we're bringing in from free agency, all right? So, we're going in the right direction, all right? As I said, doesn't mean we're Super Bowl contenders yet, all right? But we're heading in the right direction. Well, guys, it's been 34 minutes. Anybody spent any time at all watch me? Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. It means so much to me. Thank you. Or if anybody spends any time watching and replay this, once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.